and welcome back to the league where we play to get gay. It's week 6, we're halfway through the season, there's tons of excitement, tons of tension, and tons of drama. And speaking of drama, we've got a guest today on the T-Mobile AIDS hotline, one of the reigning champs of Jeck and Hyde, Seth Hayhurst. Welcome to the show, Seth.
Hey, everybody, it's good to be on with you. I appreciate you calling me up to be the celebrity guest star on your show.
Absolutely. Hey, let's get straight to it. The elephant in the room. You guys are 1-4. Didn't pick up a kicker last week. You looked like you were going to pass on a tight end this week. I've been on the message boards. I've been watching the news. There's talk about Jeck and Hyde checking out of the race. Any comments for the Jeck and Hyde haters?
Well, I got to tell you, checking out for the race would just be insane. I got to tell you, what we've done is we've taken a different approach this year. Last year, it was slightly too easy for us. We kind of, let Rick take off with the league and get his $100 so that he didn't have to worry about telling Wendy he didn't win anything this year. Make sure he got the regular season victory. And this year, we decided to kind of a little experiment. Week 1, we drafted Steve Smith. We knew he was going to be one of the top receivers. We wanted to see who out there had the real fantasy nuts. So what we did is we dropped him. We watched the message board to see who would pick him up, and Rick came along, snagged him, and we can do it without Steve Smith. We don't need Steve Smith, and we don't need a kicker. We don't need a tight end. Per se. I know I personally have a tight end, and Connor has a tight end as well. So we have enough tight ends between the two of us. We don't have to start one every week in order to win. So to be honest with you, we're just kind of coasting right now and waiting until the real game starts, and that's week 10.
Well, I think that those are some great points. On to the next question. The media has made a lot of buzz about the YouTube sensation Darth Hayhurst, and we just wanted to ask you, what was your motivation behind that role?
Well, when I got the script for that role, a couple of things went through my head. Number one, is this going to be a quality picture? The director, I've worked with him in the past, an amazing director, and the script was written well. It was just a matter of being able to get into that character and play him the way he deserved to be played. And one of the main thoughts behind that was the attire that Darth Hayhurst was going to wear. I knew that the mask had to be part of it, but when I got back to the dressing room, there was nothing else to put on. So I made a snap decision at that point and said, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to give this guy a soulful type of feel to him, a vibe of New Orleans, Ninth Ward type of feel where you never know if he's going to pull out a short, snub-nosed 32 and blow someone's head off, or if he's going to be that gentle Darth Vader kind of character.
Wow, that's very deep. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Let's get back to football. A real question. Boxers, briefs, or saran wrap?
To be honest with you, I have a lot of leakage issues. And I don't know if anybody else out there has this problem. I've actually been a proponent of this leakage thing that men go through. It's where a slight amount of very sticky, liquidy substances continually leaks out of your urethra. And I have created a new type of underwear that I use. It's half boxer, half brief, half boxer brief. So there's actually 3 parts to it. It has a little tiny section where it holds my urethra just right to where it actually keeps it shut, and the leakage does not happen. Now, occasionally the leakage will block up the urethra, and I have trouble urinating. But other than that, it works great.
Wow. I thought for sure for a minute there you'd say saran wrap because we can clearly see your nuts.
I think everybody's seen my nuts.
All right, Mr. Hayhurst, let's get to the picks of the week. Again, it's week 6. We're halfway through the regular season. the standings is starting to take shape here. Let's start out with the 2 and 3 teams, Sharky's Machine and Polish Porn Stars. Now on CBS Sportsline, right now they're giving Sharky's Machine the slight edge over the Polish Porn Stars. Both teams 2 and 3. What's your pick?
Let me tell you about Sharky's Machine. I've said it since he drafted. I've said it with every trade that he's made. This guy's in over his head. I think the only people he's played with are probably if he has nieces and nephews. Maybe they've done it in the past. They played fantasy football here and there. This guy's team is a joke. He's starting Reggie Bush. No chance. Wes Welker sucks. Hines Ward sucks. Mike Sims Walker didn't catch a ball last week. Sucks. I don't like anybody on his team. Phillip Rivers, donkey. He's playing the Broncos this week. No chance he comes out on Monday night and takes that offense or that defense and does anything with it. So you turn around and you look at the Polish Porn Stars, and you got Aaron Rodgers, stud, D'Angelo Williams, stud, Clinton Portis. I can't believe he got Clinton Portis and Brandon Marshall for Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, those are two dynamic players that are going to be huge this week.
Yep. Clinton Portis went pretty high in the draft this year.
Excuse me?
Clinton Portis went pretty high in the draft this year.
He did. He was a third round, I think, third-round draft pick. So, I mean,
your idea, right?
Well, I had told Connors that we wanted to take Portis at some point. So you look up and down the lineup, and you've got just domination on one end and pure pathetic poo on the other. Sharky's Machine is going to get ran through the ringer. We gave Sharky a win last week to make sure he didn't quit before the season was over. So I've got Polish Porn Stars by a landslide.
Awesome. We're going to speed up just a little bit in here. We're running out of time. Next up, Resurrection Mofos versus Baby Armageddon. Both of them are 3 and 2, and looks like right now CBS Sportsline has Res Mofos with the win. What do you think?
I think that these are probably the two most inflated 3 and 2 teams I've ever seen. And you know, I don't see anybody on either squad that I would really want. I mean, one of these guys, I don't know which one is starting Bernard Berry. So at receiver. So I don't see either one of these teams making any kind of a splash in the playoffs. But I will say that in this matchup, I like Adrian Peterson and I like Drew Brees, and I think that those two alone could beat the Mofos.
Gotcha. All right. Strong pick. Let's move on to your matchup. We've got 1 and 4 Jeck and Hyde versus 3 and 2 Ebony and Ivory. Ebony and Ivory, top scorer the last 2 weeks, playing against the last place team. The CBS Sportsline guru has Ebony and Ivory big. What do you think?
I think this is going to be a classic David and Goliath matchup where you have the Jeck and Hyde team who has completely been playing for the playoffs. He's got his team's really starting to come to form. He's got the players he wants. He's starting a surprise wide receiver this week in Earl Bennett, which is going to have a career game with Jay Cutler throwing him the ball. He just made a magnificent trade to pick up Kellen Winslow and fill his boy tight end slot. I think that with Antonio Gates going up against, again, that vaunted Denver defense, I think that you're going to see a change in standings this week, and you're going to see the last place Jeck and Hyde team blow up their leakage all over Ebony and Ivory.
Wow. Okay, last pick, and I think this is the game of the week because it's possibly for first place. We've got 2 minutes left. We've got 3 and 2 P Crusher versus the 4 and 1 first place team Amish Gone Wild.
Well, I'll tell you what, Amish Gone Wild just made an amazing trade with Jeck and Hyde. Actually, I just heard that it happened about 10 minutes ago. They went off and they traded their newly acquired tight end, Kellen Winslow, to Jeck and Hyde for the Saints defense, who is probably the number 1 defense in the league. Not points-wise because they've already had their bye, but they're at the top of the game. You've got a team here with Amish Gone Wild that is just stacked up and down the lineup. I see this as a pretty easy win for them. P Crusher sucks. He always sucks. He always will suck. And I hate his name.
In just 15 seconds, any encouraging words for the Jeck and Hyde fan base?
Jeck and Hyde fan base, you guys need to understand that we're playing possum this year. You just wait till week 10. We got our S together, and we're going to come out with wild abandon. And Jeck and Hyde will repeat this week. If they don't, you might see my wiener.